Hello and welcome to Christian Out of the Hamster Wheel. This video is going to be about this ficus, which I made, I think, more than a year ago from cuttings. There are originally 4 of them in here, and I tried grafting smaller leaf ficus onto it with a little less aggressive growth, but all died except this one. And the grafting didn't last. So this is the original foliage, which I'm just going to go with. It's a root over rock. So the tree here has been growing its roots over the rock for more than a year now, and I'm prepared to take it out. I'm sorry for all the ficus videos, but I want to wait for all my trees to go into dormancy before I start the intensive wiring. So I'm just going to get this one out of the pot and see how I go. If I have to stick it in the ground again, sort of halfway above the stone, or how long the roots has become. So that's very interesting to see how I go. It has sent out a lot of trunks, as you can see here. I'm considering making it a windswept, sort of off the rock. The branches are just around too thick to wire, but they're still fine. That's also why I want to do the video, and I'm very excited to see what's underneath here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get going. I'm sitting inside today in one of the sort of halfway finished houses here in Turano because it's raining. It's raining a lot these days. The other day the rain was actually going sideways because of the wind, and sealed windows, sealed doors, the water came in, so I had to get towels and stuff and all that. But yeah, it's about this tree, and I'll just get a bottom here so that the soil doesn't go everywhere when I take it out. I'll take it out of the pot. It's exciting to see how many roots there is, if it's going to be one root ball or it's going to fall all together because all the other trees died. And I have this growth on the surface, some sort of, I don't know what you'd call it. And you can see here the pot, the drainage isn't as good. There's very small holes, and yeah, luckily it's a ficus because they don't mind a lot of water and moist. That's actually a way to make a cutting. Just stick it in water and it will do roots in the water. Very easy species to work with. I see a lot of roots, but it doesn't look like they're going along the rock, which is a bit frustrating. Let's see here. Oh, it is definitely one piece. Very moist, but again, it's a ficus, it can take it. Okay. Again, as always, try to pull away from the middle of the tree so you damage the roots as little as possible. A lot of fine roots here, but they are not growing along the rock, which is a bit frustrating, but I could have told myself that fact. I'll have to do something else now when I repot it. Move this surface cover here, don't know what it is. Weird growth. Here you can see the rock. It's sort of a red lava rock, I think. I don't know what else you'd call it, but it's interesting. I found it back at our mutual garden back home in my apartment, and I thought, I'm gonna take this rock. It was underneath some bushes. No one can see it anyways. I just found it by dumb luck, so I don't think anybody. This is the rotten ones. A lot of fine roots. I'll try to wrap them around the rock when I put it into another pot. I think I'm just going to put it into the same pot and then cut it, make it more shallow, and then either put sphagnum moss around and then wrap wire around the roots, something like that. Keep it moist so that the roots don't die, the ones that are not in the ground. There's some roots here. The only thing I actually got out of it, putting it in this pot, is very long roots, which is good when you're gonna do a root over rock. But I actually think I'm gonna lift it off because it's not grown that. Now I did it because it's not grown too much into it. Now I also have the opportunity to tip it or put it in some other direction, maybe stand it up. I'm gonna take you guys outside, spray the roots, spray the rock so I can see what I'm working with. And that's it. Now the roots are totally clean, almost totally clean from soil, so I can establish them on the rock just as I want. And I got plenty of long ones so that it won't be an issue to like wrap this stone in roots all the way down, even if I stand it up. So that's interesting. I think I'll just use the same pot. I'll cut it in half so it's more shallow, and that's what I'll do next. Maybe that's easier with a knife. No! I broke it. I should have just sawed it. Well, damn it. I have this old aluminium pan which I'm gonna try to make some holes in. See if I can work this one out. I made some holes. It was quite difficult because I had to hammer them out. I don't have a metal drill, so I think this is good enough. I'll just put some soil in the bottom and then tie down the rock. Now I have to decide which way I'm gonna turn the rock. I think this way. I'm just going to use the same soil again because, as always, the ficuses, they don't really mind. They are tough species. Seems like I have 3 spots where there are roots long enough to reach all the way to the bottom of the pot. It's one here in the front and one at the back and one on this right side and one on the left side here. And the back is not so well established. I could, yeah, I guess we'll just have to try. See, that's a fine general structure. In my opinion, tie it down here. I think I'm going to wrap some sphagnum moss around and then do the plastic foil so the roots have moist all the way down, and then I can get more roots inside the sphagnum moss, the thin layer going down in the ground. Just putting a wire around it here to make it stay in place. See if it's long enough. Might just be. There we go. Unfortunately, I forgot to film it, but I wrapped it in plastic. Did not go completely as I wanted it to, but cannot really do much about it now because I ran out of plastic foil, so plastic wrap. So I'm just gonna do some pruning and choose the trunks that I'm gonna use for my little wind-whipped ficus here. I think it's gonna be a multiple trunk tree. Like the wind is blowing this way, and then the branches are gonna be shaped after that. Firstly, I want to remove the dead trunk here. It's like I'm fumbling too much today. Now I accidentally cut one off I was gonna use, and this one I made a big scar in. Also one I wanted to use. 3 sort of coming out of the same spot here. This little one I don't need. I'm just gonna remove some of the leaves down here, both so the wire is easier to apply and I don't need them to grow anymore. When wiring here, I'm of course applying the 2-branch principle. This wire has been used a lot of times now. I think it's running on its last circle. It's getting hot because it's to do a proper wire job because it's pretty stiff. I try to always keep a hand right on the wire so I don't do any unnecessary bends, and I get it to attached as best as possible. At the ends you can use a piece of plier to get it, use the last part as well, because it can be hard with the fingers when you're dealing with thick wire. So that's what I'm doing there. I want to wire these 2 together and then these 2. Actually I should have 5 branches and not 6, that would make more sense, because it's sort of going to be a forest root over rock from one tree, and you don't want an even number of trunks or branches for that matter, so I'm going to cut this one off actually. Now that I actually look at it, I don't think I want to end the video here. It looks a bit more like a semi-cascade or something, this tree. And that is going to be it. Thank you for watching. Sorry for stumbling over my words today. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. This is my first time making a root over rock. Bear with me if I'm not following all the rules. I'm just trying to learn.